Good morning, foxes, badgers and otters. It's Mrs. Martin here and I'm ready to take you through our second lesson on innovation. So today we are going to do our third and fourth paragraphs. Our third paragraph is going to be all about the disadvantages, so the bad things about having a pet cat. And then our fourth paragraph is going to be our conclusion. So can you remember what our discussion is all about? And can you think about why it might not be a good idea to have a cat as a pet? Pause the video here and write your date and LO for me, please. Okay, like every other lesson, we're going to start with our story map. So the videos are all on Monday the 22nd of February. I would recommend watching Miss Smith pointing to the words. Make sure you say them alongside her and try to do your actions as well. Pause the video here for me. Okay, so today we are going to be innovating our third and fourth paragraphs. So like I said at the beginning, our third paragraph is going to be all of those negative reasons why people might not be able to look after a pet cat. And then finally, we will go on to a conclusion. So let's have a look at our boxing up and see what we can fill in today. So our negatives. Can you think of any negatives about having a cat? Any reasons why for some people having a cat might not be a good idea? Have a pause here and see if you can list some reasons. Hopefully you came up with lots of reasons. I'm sure you have. I used to have pet cats and I used to love having them, but there are lots of negative reasons why some people might not have a pet cat as well. So some of the reasons I thought were some people might think they are smelly. Could be one of the reasons. I thought sometimes they can be messy. I also thought actually sometimes they're very strong-willed, so they make up their own minds a lot and do whatever it is they want to do. I said they were messy, smelly, strong-willed. They can make a mess on the lawn, in the garden. What else could cats do that means some people might not want them as a pet? They have sharp claws, don't they? And sometimes they can use those sharp claws to destroy furniture. I think maybe also we could put that, like in the dog paragraph, you have to take them to the vet. Of course, there's the litter tray that needs cleaning. And they can kill small animals as well, can't they? Mice or birds. So they would be all the negatives that I can think of. Okay, in terms of our generalizer then. So what generalizers could we perhaps use in this paragraph? Let's remind ourselves of some of the generalizers that we might want to include. Well, I'm thinking usually, in addition, sometimes, often, as a rule, that's quite a good one. Presumably, in most cases, all of these are fantastic ones. I'm not going to jot them down today, so I'm going to look back at my word map if I need to, but you might want to jot down some of the generalizers that you're going to use within your paragraph. And then a colon to introduce a list. Now, we looked at that a few weeks ago now, so hopefully you can remember. Let's have a look back at our model text. Now, when we had a colon to introduce a list, it said, you need to be prepared to look after them. And then it listed 3 reasons, 3 things you need to do to look after them. I think I'm going to magnify much of that. So I'm going to say, you need to be prepared to look after them. And of course I have my colon, don't I? And my 3 reasons after why you might need to look after them. So I'm going to use some of these negatives up here. You need to be prepared to look after them. So we said about taking them to the vets. I need a comma after my first reason. Cleaning their litter tray. Another reason. And, well, they killed small animals. I guess you've got to stop them from doing that. What's a good synonym for stop? Rather than stop, I could say, you need to be prepared to look after them, taking them to the vets, cleaning their litter tray, and, oh, I like prevent, actually, and preventing them from killing animals. So there's my colon to introduce a list, and I'm going to magpie that to put it into my paragraph in a minute. So let's have a go at innovating that paragraph. Let's reread our paragraph from our model text first to remind ourselves what it is that we need to include. Many people disagree. Ah yes, because remember this paragraph is all about the negatives of having this pet. Arguing that dogs are noisy, dirty and expensive to keep. Ramblers who enjoy walking in the countryside often complain about dogs harassing them and not being on a lead. Also, taking a dog for regular checkups at the vets can be very expensive and could lead to a family being in debt. It could be argued that this has contributed to the sharp rise in the number of dogs being abandoned or sent for rehoming. Finally, owning a dog is a big responsibility and should not be undertaken lightly. You need to be prepared to look after them, walking them in the rain, picking up their mess, and training them to be obedient. Okay, I think I'm ready to start now then, so I've got lots of ideas in my head. I'm going to magpie quite a lot of our model text today. So I like this many people disagree opener. I'm going to magpie that. Many people disagree. And you can see we've got a comma here. Arguing that, no, it's not dogs, we've got cats, haven't we? So we're going to put 3 reasons why we might not want cats. And I listed these on my boxing up plan, so I can go back and magpie those. Many people disagree, arguing that cats are, well, we said they were smelly, messy, and strong-willed. I like that one, strong-willed. Many people disagree, arguing that cats are smelly, messy, and strong-willed. Okay, ramblers who enjoy walking in the countryside. Oh, can anybody remember what this is? Who enjoy walking in the countryside? That's an example of a relative clause. So I'm going to magpie this idea and put it within my writing. But I'm not going to write about hikers or ramblers. I think, what kind of people might a cat affect? Maybe gardeners. So I'm going to put gardeners, and then I'm going to magpie this idea of a relative clause. So gardeners, comma, who, what do you say about gardeners? Maybe who spend most of their time outdoors. Gardeners, comma, who spend most of their time outdoors. So when I get to the end of my relative clause, that's where I need another comma. Gardeners who spend most of their time outdoors often complain. What might they complain about, gardeners? Often complain about the cats making a mess. About cats making a mess in their garden. Excuse my typing today. Gardeners who spend most of their time outdoors often complain about cats making a mess in their garden. Oh, well, I've got gardeners and garden here, so that's a little bit repetitive. What could I change garden to? Gardeners who spend most of their time outdoors often complain about cats making a mess. Could I maybe say on their lawn instead, so that we're not repeating ourselves? Okay. Also, taking a dog for regular checkups can be expensive. I like that opener also, so I'm going to magpie that. Also, comma, and I want another thing that they can do. Let's have a look back at our boxing up plan. We said about them destroying the furniture with their sharp claws, didn't we? So I'm going to put that within my paragraph. Also, they have been known to destroy furniture with their sharp claws. There we go. Okay, right, I'm going to give one more reason then, and often when I'm on to my last reason, I start it with a particular word. I wonder if you can spot that word within our model text. That's right, I'm going to start this last reason with the word finally. Finally, comma, and I need one more reason why people might not want a cat. Well, actually, I'm going to magpie this part here before my colon to introduce a list. So I'm going to magpie the whole sentence, but change it to a cat because I think that having a cat is a big responsibility and should not be undertaken lightly. So finally, comma, owning a cat is a big responsibility and should not be undertaken lightly. Now this is where I'm going to put in that colon to introduce a list sentence. So I've already written that in here, so I can just take that and magpie it to put it into my paragraph. So I said, you need to be prepared to look after them, colon, and then I'm going to list my 3 reasons. I said one of them was taking them to the pets, cleaning their litter tray, and preventing them from killing animals. So there's my paragraph of all of the different negatives about having a pet cat. Let's read it through together and check that it makes sense. Many people disagree, arguing that cats are smelly, messy, and strong-willed. Gardeners, who spend most of their time outdoors, often complain about cats making a mess on their lawn. Also, they have been known to destroy furniture with their sharp claws. Finally, owning a cat is a big responsibility and should not be undertaken lightly. You need to be prepared to look after them, taking them to the vets, cleaning their litter tray, and preventing them from killing small animals. That makes sense to me. My whole paragraph has got lots of the negative things and lots of the things you need to consider before you get a pet cat. Can you pause the video here for me and have a go at writing your paragraph about all of those negative things, all of the things you need to be prepared to do. Remember to include that colon to introduce a list for me. Okay, we're on to our last paragraph now. So this is our conclusion where we share what we've decided and we are going to include it by describe it, with an if, then sentence. Let's have a reread of our model text and what we had in our conclusion. Having considered the arguments from both sides, we believe that if you have the time to train a dog, if you don't mind walking it in all weathers, if you are committed to looking after it forever, then a dog really is the family pet. Okay, so I think I'm going to magpie that first part of the sentence, and then I need to think of my own if, then sentence to go at the end. So I kind of agree really that having a cat can be a perfect family pet, but only if 3 things are prepared to happen. So I'm going to start my sentence with my indent. Having considered the arguments of both sides, comma, I believe that, and this is where I need to think of my 3 ifs and my then. Let's think of 3 things that you need to do if you've got a cat. So I think having considered the argument from both sides, I believe that if you are prepared to clean up after your cat, what else could we say about it? If you are prepared to clean up after your cat, if you don't mind your furniture being scratched, well, I said scratched already. I wonder if there's a different word I could say. I think maybe I might use destroyed. If you don't mind your furniture being destroyed, if what else do you need to do with a cat? If you are prepared to take them to the vet, then what we're going to put at the end. Having considered the arguments from both sides, I believe that if you're prepared to clean up after your pet, if you don't mind your furniture being destroyed, if you're prepared to take them to the vet, then we had a dog really is the perfect family pet. Sorry, maybe I could just change that to cat, couldn't I? Then a cat really is the perfect family pet. Okay, so I just need to reread my last paragraph and check it makes sense. Having considered the arguments from both sides, I believe that if you are prepared to clean up after your cat, if you don't mind your furniture being destroyed, if you are prepared to take them to the vets, then a cat really is the perfect pet. Okay, super. So it's over to you guys now. Can you write for me your concluding paragraph? And this will finish off our discussion text. So you need to tell me whether or not you think that having a cat is a good idea or a bad idea. See if you can get that if, then sentence in there. Please remember to send us your work so we can have a look at your fantastic writing.